Welcome to the Debbion Newman Project. I'm your host, Debbion, but you could call me Deb.
Oh yes.
Yes. Let's sit down. Say- you ready? Welcome, Clymaxx, to the Debbion Newman Project. I'm happy to have you here today.
And thank you so much for having me here today, Miss Debbion Newman.
All right, no problem. Just before we jump into Clymaxx and her being a lyrical genius, I want to know about you as a young girl and how did you find out that you had the talent to write and perform?
Coming up as a young girl, I've always been a person who, expressive, creative, always enjoyed um, using my creativity. If it's even to write poem, write songs, write skits, anything. So growing up, I've always been a person around the performing arts area. And then I got a lot of encouragement from my peers as well, because as I explained before, I was a person who loved performing arts. I used to be in clubs, got to express myself with peers who were a part of the club as well as outsiders. And they always gave me good feedback where my creativity is concerned. So growing up, I would say I'm a creative person, jovial person, more kind of spontaneous, always willing to try new avenues as well. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So then, with this ability to perform and to do all these things, when was the first time you actually touch a stage and then you knew right then and there, so listen, I'm me, this enough. We can do this.
Yeah. So I would say my first time going on a big stage would be around 2015. That time I was working at Digicel. I was an employee there, and they had a talent show. They had a Mr. and Mrs. Digicel, which would consist of a talent show. 'Cause, yeah, that's
You
what
have to do a little
those
talent.
youth. Yeah. And that's the first time I would say I performed on a big stage with a big audience, a mixed audience as well, an audience that is not going to be inclusive of my friends. So,
Exactly.
that's where I got the biggest motivation from. The feedback was actually overwhelming. And as I said before, based on the difference in audience, the kind of audience that was there and the feedback coming from them actually showed me that where music is concerned, I'm not limited to anything. So like it just give me a push to start express myself on a bigger platform. So that's where I even thought of going into Magnum, because from Digicel, after the competition, they actually started allowing me to participate in many staff events. So I basically got the practice to
Mm-hmm.
perform in front of an audience that I'm completely new to, or so on. So yeah, so that's where I would say I got the motivation from
Okay,
working
so
there.
tell me about the Magnum Kings and Queens competition. How did you find yourself in that competition? And did you have the slightest idea that, say, I mash this up and me I go win?
Well, I all right. The competition, I actually tried to enter the competition before I entered and won. So going there the first time, the line long, like so big long line outside. I'm like, oh no, I'm not gonna join this line, and I was already working. So it seemed like it's like I wanted to enter from then, but the
Mm-hmm.
motivation fill up like that yet. So when I went back there to enter now, and it was an easy go through. I would be sure if I would be the winner, but I had a lot of confidence in myself where winning is concerned. Cause everybody come and them sing, so you got have like a preview of what the talents are. So
Mm-hmm.
judging myself, the persons that were already there is like me, I say, but them not better than me, better than them. So
Uh-huh.
it's, it's like me, motivate myself as the winner. Or would I say in myself, I knew I had the capability of winning, but it has to be tested and proven.
Mm-hmm. All right. So week after week, you had to perform new materials. What the
Yeah.
materials that you brought with you, is this something that you had prior to, or you had to be writing on the go?
For the first week, for the audition, I auditioned with a song I already had. But for the first performance, I performed a song I already had, because for the audition and the first performance, it had to be the same song. So for those two occasions, I perform a song I already had, but going down into the latter part of the competition, it was new songs every week. Remember that they have like, or how you call it, like theme sometime where
Mm-hmm.
time is face off, you have to add this a particular person, or you have to add certain things in your song, you have to adjust your song towards how each week set up, or to what the audience is requesting for each week. So it's new songs every week. And
Mm-hmm.
in fact, that actually was a part of the difficulty as well, because it kind of hard to have a song, or you build a song. Say for example, you're gonna need 3 days to know it, and then even when you build a song and practice it to know it, you go in on Friday for the show, which is Saturday, and then they tell you the parts that need to come out for the
Mm-hmm.
Saturday. So it definitely had to be a new song, because you had to perform it for the officials, or what do you call those, for the production team before going on the stage, and you're liable to have to change some lines. So it's new songs every week and
Mm-hmm.
thing.
You know what? One time I tricked myself and said I was going to enter, and my brother said, "Let me hear your lyrics." And me give it to him and say, "Go sit down." He said,
I
"Go
bet
sit down."
help you with 2 lines. Eh? Better be get 2 lines when I swear, get two better lines then.
But listen, it's because he's a DJ and he's quick with his lyrics and he knows how to perform. When he tell me go sit down, we
Yeah,
just go sit down. I'm
release
not bother with it.
it.
But let me ask you this though. It had to have been a lot of pressure on you to know, say, you write the lyrics and you're well settled in with it and you know, say, this are gonna happen and this are gonna happen. But then they tell you you have to take these pieces out.
Mhm.
What form of additional pressure did that bring to you?
Well, that definitely would bring additional pressure in ways, for example, like the fact that you already studied, all right, is a televised competition. So the fact that coming, all right, during the week, coming up to the competition, to the day of the performance, you've been studying this particular song, and then on the Friday, they're gonna tell you that some lines need to change to suit television guidelines. So the thing is, sometimes you're exposed to making a mistake where you probably sing back what they told you not to sing,
So,
which
mm-hmm,
can which might end up in disqualification, end up in you, because sometimes when you set things out of context, they beep it out. And you know what, half of your performance beep out, because then nobody not gonna know what you say to vote for you. So
right.
that's another thing too. Yeah, because them are gonna beep it out. So nobody now gonna hear what you say. So you're at risk of that happening, as well as you're at risk of forgetting your song, because sometimes when you have something in your mental, and then at the last minute you have to adjust it. It's like the possibilities there, you can make mix up, you can make a mistake, and the one mistake mix up the whole thing, drop you
Mm-hmm,
off of the rhythm, drop your everything. So it's like having to do that is like it put you at a state where you're nervous. For me, if I have a song and then they say I have to change something in it on the Friday, best believe the Saturday I'm well nervous because I say, me don't want to make no mistake, or do no foolishness and come up here so come clap myself. And I've seen it happen to some of the competitors
Right.
as well. So when you try for the Kali, is me just try to write my music them as clean as possible. As since me, besides too, it wasn't that hard because as me I tell you, I started writing from a high school narrative, like a high school student perspective. So I'm not gonna put no one bag of bad word in the song them at that time. You understand? No
Uh-huh.
different.
Uh-huh.
No difference. It's kind of easy. Me never get a lot of changes to be done because I'm already there write the song them clean because that's what I was used to.
Mm-hmm. All right. What type of DJ would you say you are in terms of are you a freestyle DJ? Are you a person you have to put pen and paper for weeks or days?
Well, not fully. All right. I would say I can do both. Where music is concerned is like all right. Is the thing that comes most natural, and so anything we're writing and singing is concerned is like it come easy. So for
Mm-hmm.
freestyle, I actually do that. For write a song, I can write song in minutes, depends on what kind of song. Me probably take a day or two, not weeks though,
Mm-hmm.
but depends on the production type. Some things deserve an extra energy and more diligence and timing. So depending on the production, I'd probably take a day and some. Most times I just go to studio with the rhythm playing and I just write right there. And I can freestyle as well.
Okay, so what if I give you one word? You can
Go.
freestyle right away. If I give
Yeah.
you one word right now.
Go ahead.
All right. But it's a clean version. Clean version.
Okay. Okay.
The first thing we see is the pineapple. Got you with that.
Okay. Them say pineapple for the genitals. Make me get nice clean man from Senegal. Money in my pocket. I me a spend it all, my friend.
All right. The pineapple put money in your pockets. All right.
Yeah.
So you mash up the competition, you won it, right? And you get the million, right? What was it like going back to your community with that? Because for me, when I was doing television, and anytime I went back to my community, everybody feels that me rich now. Everybody turned my cousin. Me have to give him a piece, him a piece. Did you have that type of situation in your area?
Well, actually, no, I didn't. Cause I have strategy. What I did though was, when I won, I had a treat for the kids over there. All right, first thing before I entered Magnum, like basically, me just moved from where I grew up. Somebody already moved for entering, so I was living over there at the time because basically, me must say I have a baby now. Me I try live a big woman life. So me they actually move out of the community I grew up in. Um, but for campaigning purposes, we would keep like a party, like a every Thursday event where you money them from the bar, from the people them give them money and whatever for buy the phone card. So I used to do that over by the community where I grew up in. So I did it every week over there. And this guy, we just want to big him up, Andre Madden, he had a sound and him come out free every week. Him come out free every week. But just have to give them things to drink and stuff. But they're there every week. And when I won, they did not ask for $1. They just encouraged me to continue along the path. And as I said, I had a treat for the kids over there, and I gave them like back to school stuff, like school bag, because at the end of the day, I can't please every adult. If me if split the money with every adult who helped me, then me basically I got left with nothing. So what I did was I had a treat. I got some sponsors from the neighboring business places, like KFC was right out there, and K&M Wholesale, big them up for that too. They gave me some sponsorships where, like books and so on. So what I did was I had a treat, and at the end of the day too, I basically had to use some of my personal money along with the sponsorship, because when you win, you don't necessarily get the money at the same time. It's like you have to complete the contract in order to receive it, and you get it like half and half. So you get like 500,000 first, and then you get the next 500,000. But the thing is, you had to do a song and a music video, which took a while to be done. So I voiced the song for them, and then I got the first half, and then I did the video and got the second half. So it never comes same time either way for them even get it. But I tried my best to show my appreciation by having a treat. I, make the people them feel nice in the community, like we did it and not just me did it.
Right.
Yeah.
So then you showed back your support.
Yeah.
That was very good. I'm sure that they enjoyed themselves.
Yes, they did.
So competition is over. You did the treat, and so you are now entering the world of dancehall professionally. What was that like for you? Were you welcomed? Did you find yourself facing struggles as a competition winner and not someone that just came up from underground or something like that?
Yeah. I definitely did get like the backlash from being a competition winner. So it's like basically they would say we get an easy bus then. Because through me come on TV and people get to actually see me that way instead of me after I go studio and vice hard. But at the end of the day, it still took a lot of hard work nonetheless. However, I wouldn't say I was faced with any like big backlash, because the people of me coming from the competition, you understand? So it's like, but for me though, where the competition is concerned, I had some personal adjusting to do, because as I said, I'm gonna immaculate, make me grow inside. So now when we in Magnum outside now, so it's like from 0 to 100 real quick. So that took a little bit of adjusting. And sometimes because remember, when you experience a hot moment in your career, is like the love overwhelming. So sometimes you don't really get the space and the capacity for can just be a normal self. You have to always have the outside, you have to always interact, communicate. So sometimes that can be overwhelming coming from where I am, because I'm more of a quiet person. I just love arts, but he's more like TV nerd.
Phone ringing.
Sorry, someone
That's
called.
fine.
Yes, so I actually took a lot of personal adjusting where I am concerned, but the encounter with the persons who were already in music was very welcoming for me. A lot of persons gave me good advice when I met them on stage shows. Like the older artists, them will bring me one side and say, girl, your body, me just want you hold up your head and keep up your thing. We get good advice from majority of the artists. Them are just one and two artists probably, show a bit of corruption, which that's okay, because and not everybody gonna, appreciate that. So I would say it was okay. It's not that hard or difficult. The hardest part for me is actually going mainstream. Communicating with the co-workers in music is not that hard, because entertainers are nice people, It's
They're
just that
people like anybody else.
of express yourself when communicating with them. But so far it's good. The most difficult part is to get the mainstream attention. Yeah.
Let me ask you a quick question though. What governor did I call you for?
No, you see the thing with him now, it's from it actually was coming off something else. So it's like my son, as you guys probably know, so son for a popular entertainer. So governor and my son's dad was having a beef. Well, no, basically governor they a beef with himself. Or him just there call up him name and him not really look on him until when me with Magnum now, him start put my name in his songs. Because that's what he did, him put my name in a song and say, him gonna do this and do that and do that. So that's where the retaliation come from, because it's not a case where me and him they have something directly. It was like, oh, you call it now. It's like an offspring war then.
Because they say the governor calling you, like, like where was the respect when he sent his friend to come and call you? You understand?
Yeah.
And then he's all the way in the back.
Back. Oh, you're talking about that? No.
Yes.
That was actually a show in Spanish Town. Pink Boss was the host of the show, or the promoter. He was a former contestant in my year, so that's how I ended up there, because he invited me. But the mistake I make was for probably go by myself, because me I say, I'm a fellow Magnum compare that, so me the Magnum Paris, so therefore it should be okay for me going by myself. So it looked to me like them stay wherever they were and saw that I was there by myself. So maybe that's why I'm saying the guy for come call me, because them literally wait until me go to the bar, So it's like them prove to themselves say I'm there by myself, because if I wasn't, I would not come on our bar for buying nothing.
Right.
So it's see that and know say the guy come over, yo. DJ call you, we over with zinc. Like, it was a garrison place in Spanish Town. So me burst now go to him in a no garrison. Right. Be a man, well dark. I mean, I say, what kind of style is to me? I think them be up to something still. I never went with the guy though to find out. But that he look kind of,
suspect.
Yes, suspect.
The reason why I brought that up is that when I was doing my research on you and I heard you speak of that situation, I respected how you held your own and you didn't go over one part around Dessa because he's governor. You know what I mean? You respected yourself enough and you thought things through and said, I'm not going over there. You know what I mean?
Because at the end of the day, if you can identify me so much to send someone and call me, might as well you try to talk to me for yourself. And then at the end of the day, you are send somebody to call me over to a place where I cannot clearly identify you. It's not like I can see you and say, okay, see him there, stand up right there. So this person just come point in the direction, and when I look, is bear man over there. Me not want to go over there, so me by myself. No, sir.
All right. Let me ask you about this though. Whenever I listen to your music, you sound like you sound like an aggressive, lyrical person. Where do you believe that aggression came from that you pump into your music?
Well, I believe that that would be because I have brothers. I have a sister, but we don't grow up. So it's like I grew in a household with mostly boys. So it's like most analysis that I would come up with is looking from a perspective close to what my brothers would think. I'm grown with my brother them. So it's like when me a try for meds, it's like me a meds like them in a way. And then growing up with brothers is like as me get older, I more hang around male companions. So it's like I would say the aggression is coming from that, constant male structure being in my life, whereas my love hang out with man, me have my brother them have their friends. So that's where, and then the community where I grew up in, that's Brighton, it was very violent also. So it's like growing up as even a normal child, certain things that you would see with your own eye is like it play upon your mental. It's like growing up, me as what me I say is all right. As me I tell you, me got immaculate. So enough people that have me as a nerd and so, but me live in a community where man a kill man 12 o'clock a day, 2 o'clock a day. Man a kill man with whole heap of people looking. So it's like that easily build up aggression inside of me as a normal person, which is a natural thing, because at the end of the day, me appreciate man I great this and bust out that them and them it me want to come out of them lifestyle or whatever. So it is like it easy for sing about because it's something where me see constantly or something where me that there on or something where me can't escape. Even
Mm-hmm.
though, even though as a full adult, then I would say I still have those experiences because as I say, I like hanging with the males.
Right.
So not every not every man is about jacket and tie. Not every man is about
Mm-hmm.
9 to 5. Yeah, different kind of man. So it's like it does always dead fear easily adapt to. And to all the world around right now, aggression in everybody. It's
Mm-hmm.
easy for you to get to all life set up right now. Some of that say maybe growing up experiences would have caused aggression and things I must see are so.
Yeah. Speaking about you touched a point. You said that many people might be having a lot of aggression and anger building up inside of them based on what we're seeing happening in our community right now. You being such a strong young woman, what would you say to young girls who feel like they don't have a voice for themselves and they feel like they can't speak up for themselves? Because when I was younger, I was brought up in a household where my mother was extremely quiet, you know, and that was a person I was looking up to. So if something happened, I'm not going to say anything because I'm from a quiet zone. So there was so much happening, but my zone was too quiet for me to open up my mouth and speak. What would you say to young girls who may be in a similar situation, just afraid to open up their mouth and say the smallest thing that could actually make a difference?
Difference. That's all right. So what I would tell them first thing, I just want to advise all young ladies to love themselves first. You see, once you love yourself, then there is no thing or there is nothing that another person can do to disappoint you as a person. Or loving yourself is like it give you a strong self-esteem.
Mm-hmm.
So it's easy for you to speak out, easy for you to express yourself. You just want to ensure say you love yourself. Loving yourself have a lot of it would be like a tree, like a family tree. So once you love yourself, you're able to speak on certain things confidently. You're able to act accordingly and confidently. Therefore, you wouldn't need a second person or a third person for referral. As in, once you have that confidence in yourself, you are able to think out your own thoughts. Going to somebody else for them to express what you are thinking would be like a second option if you definitely don't see where yourself can do it. I would also advise them to always validate yourself because the minute there's this quote on Instagram, I can't really remember it good, but it's like they say value yourself to save you from low experiences. So
Okay.
therefore, the minute you value yourself along yourself, it is like it save you from certain situation. So certain things where you feel like you wouldn't want to speak out on, or are you afraid to speak out on, you're not even in a them situation there to owe you value yourself. You don't need to speak on nothing because you know put yourself in a position to have to. So I would just say, my advise them for value themselves, love themselves, always ensure to be assertive, not disrespectful, but
But assertive.
assertive with what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Well said, Climax. What is next for Climax? And how is the pandemic treating you in terms of writing music?
The pandemic is treating me bad. That's the one thing. I need it to go away. Let's just start by by saying that pandemic bad,
Uh-huh.
bad, bad. We're seeing this right now. Swear it slow down everything, even your mental state. It slow down because if every right now in Jamaica, we're basically on lockdown since our Friday. Them thing they slow down your mental, it slow down your brain because you have in your house. Is like you have to try to find or better yet, you have to try to make unproductive things seem productive. Because if you're in your house every day, you gotta try cook, which that not do nothing for you, but you still a try to do it for occupy your mind. So I say bad, I'm tired of it right now. I hope it just hurry up and finish because it's very difficult nowadays to you link a producer, you want to put in the work, you link a producer in them, yeah, that sleep, him just a wake up. So it's like it a frustration, it a frustrate the people them, it just make you feel like stay home and sleep or stay home and do nothing.
Right.
And then stage show not really keep like that. So it's like it even give a bit of demotivation because at the end of the day, if me have a stage show for rip up in my head, me I say, I gotta just write a song right now, vice it and put it down. So it's like it not productive either way. You understand? So that is the worst part for me where the pandemic, it's very bad where it concerns music and everything. But what I want to say, coming up soon though, I'm gonna release an EP. It's called the Clymaxx. It's gonna be released next month end. So it consists of 6 songs along with visuals, collaborations as well with established artists. So that's my next project coming up, the EP, the Clymaxx. So you guys can look out for it.
All right. Well, thank you, Clymaxx, for being here with me. All the best with the Clymaxx and everything else that you have coming. My platform is for any woman that wants to come on and have a discussion, have a conversation. So anytime in the near future, you can text me and say, Debbie, say, may have something I go on or whatever it is. And we just jump right back on this platform and bang it out.
Bang it out with a bang.
Bang it out. All right, Clymaxx, one love and take care of yourself.
And thank you as well for having me, Miss Newman. It was my pleasure talking with you today. And big up yourself, big up your show all the time.
All right, no problem, Mama. Now that you guys have watched another conversation from the Debbion Newman Project, it's time for you to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Catch you on the next episode.